The decree is signed. The trap is set. A grand Persian palace bathed in golden sunlight. Inside, robed noblemen gather around an ornately carved wooden table, their faces shadowed with scheming expressions. King Darius, seated on a golden throne, signs an official decree with a royal seal, while envious advisors whisper behind him. In the great palace of Babylon, beneath golden domes and walls etched with power, a dangerous plot was unfolding. King Darius, ruler of the empire, signed a decree, unaware that the ink on the parchment was a death sentence for his most loyal servant. Daniel's prayer, the moment of defiance. A dimly lit chamber in Babylon. Daniel, a wise and elderly man dressed in flowing white robes, kneels before an open window, his face bathed in moonlight. The window reveals a sprawling city below, while the distant silhouette of Jerusalem glows on the horizon. Behind him, shadowy figures lurk in the doorway, watching, waiting. But Daniel, a man of unwavering faith, would not be silenced. He knelt before his window, facing Jerusalem, lifting his prayers to the heavens, as he had done every day of his life. But outside, the darkness listened, watching, waiting. The arrest, the snare tightens. A group of armed Persian soldiers burst into Daniel's chamber, torches in hand. Their faces are stern, their eyes cold with duty. Daniel remains calm, his hands still folded in prayer. The glow of the flames dances across the walls, creating eerie, shifting shadows. The trap was sprung. The whispers in the shadows became shouts in the light. Soldiers stormed into the room, their faces hardened, their orders absolute. Yet Daniel did not rise in fear. He did not beg. He did not run. Faith was his armor. The king's regret, too late to turn back. King Darius sits alone in his grand throne room, bathed in dim candlelight. His crown lies discarded on the table beside him. His expression is heavy with regret, his hands gripping his head. Outside, the city sleeps, unaware of the storm raging within their king. When the news reached the king, a terrible weight fell upon him. He had been deceived. A decree he had signed in pride had become a chain he could not break. And now, even the mightiest king in the land could not save his friend. The lion's den, the descent into darkness. A deep, ominous pit carved into stone. The walls are rough and covered in claw marks. Below, golden-eyed lions prowl in the shadows, their powerful muscles tense. The only light comes from the full moon, filtering through the narrow opening above. Daniel, calm and composed, is lowered into the den by thick ropes, his face illuminated by the moonlight. And so, as the moon watched in silence, Daniel was lowered into the pit of death. Below, the lions stirred. Their hunger was ancient. Their eyes burned in the darkness. This was the end. Or, so the world believed. The angel appears, the miracle unfolds. Inside the den, the lions circle Daniel, their golden eyes glowing in the darkness. But suddenly, a blinding light floods a pit. A celestial figure with radiant wings stands between Daniel and the lions, his presence commanding absolute silence. The lions, once filled with hunger, now lower their heads in reverence. But the night was not silent. The heavens had already answered. A presence descended, a power beyond flesh and stone. An angel of the Lord stood between Daniel and the beasts, and the lions, in all their fury, fell silent. The king's sleepless night, a heart in turmoil. A vast Persian palace under the cover of night. King Darius sits alone in his darkened chamber, his luxurious bed untouched. His crown rests beside him. Forgotten, moonlight streams through the high windows, casting his troubled face in pale silver as he stares at the ground in deep remorse. In his palace of gold and marble, King Darius found no rest. His food remained untouched. Music could not soothe him. Sleep refused to come. Daniel, may your God deliver you. Dawn at the den, a cry of hope. The first golden rays of dawn stretch across the city. King Darius, dressed in a hurriedly thrown-on robe, rushes toward the lion's den with a desperate expression. His royal guards follow behind, but he is far ahead of them. The massive stone seal on the pit remains untouched, the silence below thick with mystery. As the first light touched Babylon, the king ran. He cast aside his royal pride. He did not care for the eyes of his people. Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to save you? Silence. Heartbeat pause, then a voice rises from below. Daniel's answer, the impossible reality. Inside the den, Daniel stands unharmed, his robes untouched. A faint golden glow lingers where the angel once stood. Around him, the lions rest calmly, their heads lowered. Above, light from the opening spills down onto his face, illuminating his peaceful expression as he looks up toward the king. Daniel, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not harmed me, because I was found innocent before him, nor have I done any wrong before you. The den that had consumed countless lives had become a sanctuary. The rescue, a miracle revealed. Daniel is pulled up from the den with ropes, his body untouched, his robes flowing in the wind. As he reaches the surface, King Darius steps forward, his face a mix of awe and joy. Behind them, the nobles who plotted against Daniel watch in stunned horror, their fate looming over them. The ropes were thrown down. Hands pulled him up. Not a scratch, not a wound, not a hair on his head harmed. Judgment on the wicked, justice is served. The nobles who conspired against Daniel are seized by royal guards. Their faces twist in terror as they are dragged toward the edge of the pit. Below, the once calm lions are awake again, their golden eyes filled with renewed hunger. The sky above is darkening, as if the heavens themselves bear witness to the king's judgment. But those who set the snare now walked into it themselves. Deep, powerful tone as the king speaks. Take them. Let the lions taste the fruit of their own deception. Sound of desperate cries, the scrape of boots against stone, and then the growls of lions that had waited all night. The king's decree, the God of Daniel reigns supreme. King Darius stands before the great gates of Babylon, his royal robes flowing in the wind. Behind him, scribes carve his decree into stone. Thousands of people gather in the streets, listening in awe as he raises his hands toward the heavens, proclaiming the power of Daniel's God. And so, the king spoke, not with sword or conquest, but with truth. Loud, declarative tone, echoing in the city square. Let it be known, the God of Daniel is a living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed. His dominion shall never end. He rescues and saves. He performs wonders in heaven and on earth. And he has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. Daniel's legacy, faith that stood the test of time. A final wide shot of Daniel, standing on the walls of Babylon at sunset. The golden light bathes the city, and the distant silhouette of Jerusalem glows on the horizon. His face is peaceful, his eyes full of wisdom. The scroll of the king's decree rests in his hands, as the wind carries his legacy into history. The lion's den was meant to be his grave. Instead, it became a stage for a miracle. And through one man's unshakable faith, the world was reminded that no kingdom, no decree, and no earthly power can stand against the will of the Almighty. A dark background with golden glowing Hebrew letters forming the words, faith over fear. Below, a powerful silhouette of a lion stands tall, its eyes reflecting divine light. The caption reads, no matter the den you face, faith will always be your shield. Like, comment, subscribe. A cinematic golden scroll unrolling against the backdrop of a deep blue night sky filled with twinkling stars. The glowing words on the scroll read, enjoyed this story? Show your support. Below, 3 bold golden icons glow. A thumbs up like, a speech bubble comment, and a bell subscribe. The bottom of the scroll displays, join the journey. More powerful stories coming soon.